Welcome back, beautiful people, to
Hello.
another terrible unboxing, courtesy of.
Courtesy of strawberry candies.
On today's special episode of Trade the Terrible Collector, once again, we are joined by none other than Michael.
Me.
Michael, welcome back to the show.
Thanks. It's been a while.
It's always nice having you here, buddy.
It's always nice to be here. I'm gonna have the strawberry candy.
I love those strawberry candies. So we have today a very special unboxing. We've got the Marvel Collector's Edition Giant Size X-Men set from Toy Biz 1998.
I remember 1998.
I do not. But
Good year.
I do remember that you had the Marvel Collector's Edition of the original X-Men.
The original 5, yeah.
Those were very cool toys at the time. They had tons of articulation.
All the articulation. And Cyclops had a hole.
Uh-huh.
Well, not a hole, but like a window in the top of his head.
Yeah, so you could.
So you could shine a light through, and it shined through his eyes.
And if I remember correctly, the visor.
The
came
visor
up.
lifted up, and it was just his eyeballs.
It was really neat.
It was really cool.
Also, some of the best Angel Wings.
Mhm.
Not quite as good as the Fallen, because those are
Those are
absolutely
dope.
ridiculous. But
Those were dope.
But they were very, very good. So in today's unboxing, we've got the giant size X-Men. This is going to feature Storm, who we have several versions of. Colossus.
But you can always use more Storm.
Colossus, who all of the versions that I have suck. Nightcrawler, all of the versions that I have are awesome. Sunfire, who I already have one of. Banshee, who I embarrassingly have two of. And Thunderbird, who will never get another toy, unfortunately, in this run. Because he died.
Count Nefarious.
So you open her up. The box is really neat. You got
that
little,
is super neat.
Turn
it
yeah,
so
I
they
guess
can.
they should be able to see it.
Yeah.
So you've got some details about all of the X-Men. If you don't know things about Storm and Nightcrawler by now, you're probably on the wrong show. If you don't know things about Banshee, you're definitely on the right show. So I was reading the comic where Juggernaut and Black Tom Cassidy take over the castle.
Just before.
So Phoenix
the
has become
Saga.
Phoenix. Kind of. She's still in the hospital, and there was a cartoon version of this one. So what the cartoon left out that this comic is just absolutely chock fucking full of is leprechauns.
God.
There are more leprechauns in that comic than anything else. Juggernaut and Black Tom are like side notes. It is a comic about the X-Men dealing with leprechauns.
Well, is it just because they're in Ireland?
Yes. Well, 100% it is because they are in Ireland. So that's the thing.
Happy stereotypes, guys.
Mm-hmm. Also, the original drawings of Banshee. I'm gonna put one up here. Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, let's start with him.
That's really cool.
Sunfire. So the Sunfire that I have, he's like in the 90s armor. He's got a long ponytail and he's got metallic like solar shields. He's not really neat. This is what I think Sunfire looks like. That is great.
Very cool.
What's up?
There's a lot of scaling and
Yeah.
on the like on the arms and the legs, and you can see a lot of detail in there, like it burned.
Yeah, tons and tons of texture, tons of subtle details, like the
gold
little flames that are in the gold instead of it being like a jagged line, whereas this is like very sharp. Very cool.
Very neat.
Very, very nice. Tons of articulation on these.
Wrists,
ankles.
and his hands aren't fists.
Yeah,
they're open like he's shooting fire
flames. I love it.
I think
10
that's
out of
pretty
10.
dope.
Really, really great. So Banshee.
Remember when he died?
when Mystique slit his throat.
He wasn't dead then.
It's a shame.
He just got his throat slit. Moira McTaggart died there again.
3 Banshees?
I have 3 Banshees.
Yeah.
This is 4.
No, I have 1,
You have the
2. So this is 3. The blue one? That's not Banshee. That's Blue Bolt or Black Bolt.
They call him something else on the.
It's the same body sculpt. So this, I mean, if he was like flying,
Yeah, that's
Like
a cool looking.
That looks pretty neat.
It's just unfortunate that it's still Banshee.
Yeah, I just hate him. Like every comic he's in, I hate him. He's also scaled significantly smaller, so it looks like maybe you're
Well,
even
it's just a wee little Irish lad.
part leprechaun.
Art leprechaun.
But like in the back, like if you had him hanging back, it would look pretty cool. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Thunderbird. So
I remember we were on a trip to Panama, and you had gotten giant-sized X-Men, all new, all different X-Men, which was the introduction of all of these characters into the X-Men universe. He had already been in it.
yeah,
They
Wolverine already existed in a Hulk comic, but not in X-Men stuff.
and I remember always loving Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler was my favorite. And then you got introduced to Mr. Proudstar, and I was just like, "Oh, this guy's dope as hell."
In that first,
And like, because he had the attitude of Wolverine, he had the leadership qualities of Cyclops, and he had the strength of Colossus.
Yeah.
He had all of these things, and everybody just was just like, "You're going to be a second great character."
yeah,
And he was just like, "Fucking no, I'm not."
he was,
And then he died because of Count Nefarious, and I'm never going to get over that.
no. He was, I think, the most interesting character in that early comic. The details on this particular toy, pretty nice. The feathers are good. The fringe looks really nice. The subtle shading in the blue,
Oh, I like that little transition there. That's nice.
yeah, really nice.
Very
Because
cool.
his legs are spread like that, I feel like he's actually super tall. Like, who's a decent size one? Like super, super tall. I mean, this Sunfire is already a little bit bigger than him. I know they're 6-inch scale instead of 5-inch, but he looks big. Speaking of big,
Hell yeah.
it's so fucking nice to finally have a nice looking Colossus. Other than the Age of Apocalypse one, that was really dope. But, whew. Beautiful.
A little bit of metallic paint on the, what are those called? Scabbards?
Maybe
Gauntlets? His wrist things.
his shitty gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice. That subtle coloring, the muscle that you can still see bulging through the pants and everything. Like it's a really nicely done figure. He's big and bulky without looking like
Juggernaut.
yeah, like he can't move. Like
Yeah.
he still looks agile. He still looks, I don't know. He looks really, really cool. I think that's a great looking toy. And the big ass shoulder pads. I don't know what you'd even call them. I think those are really well
Don't you
done.
do it.
Oh, Thunderbird, you son of a gun!
That's how you died the last time.
I mean, kind of. Storm.
Her hair's kind of shiny.
Her hair is kind of shiny.
It's dope.
The cape is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a double.
Oh,
lining.
it's like a double lining, so it's.
Why do we both know what that means?
Because I also know what LeMay is.
I will say that she is kind of reminiscent of some of the other female figures that have their hips popped out all fucking weird. But because she has tons of articulation, it seems less egregious. I do love that we finally got her the iconic costume.
It's my favorite costume.
It's got the little headdress.
And then they did it in X-Men 97. Perfect.
Mint.
Mm.
Neat. I'm gonna find a way to make her fly.
You got a thing?
I'll have to get a couple. We're low. Oh, and he's locked in.
It's
Apparently,
the only one.
people were just stealing Nightcrawlers left and right.
There you go. Oh, all right. Oh, and he's got the mullet. Hell
Does he
yeah.
really? Choo. That's good stuff.
It does not feel like the tail moves. but very. I don't want to try to move it too much.
Is he stiff?
He's a little stiff. He's not in the
Yeah.
not in the waist. I always love so when in the back of the giant size X-Men, it had a bunch of character descriptions and like rough drafts of the characters. And one of the things that he always said about Nightcrawler was
Was
that
it you
his
couldn't
feet,
draw his tail coming out like that?
his
Because it
tail
looked like
coming
he was
out of
taking
his
a shit.
ass, and his hands and his feet were normal sized hands and feet. And I always hated that. So when you get a Nightcrawler with these giant hands, these giant feet, man, it looks so cool.
One of my first introductions to Nightcrawler in like a, jeez Louise. One of my first introductions to Nightcrawler in like a major way was the Marvel Trading Cards Series 2. And he had a very exaggerated fingers. And he's
Yep.
like posed in like a Spider-Man pose where his like
Mhm.
knees are up and everything, but very exaggerated detail. Even his nose and his ears.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always liked that more.
Let's put it up here. Nice. He stands. You know what? Interestingly, Colossus is amazing. Sunfire is amazing. Storm is amazing. Both of these are good figures. This is the worst Nightcrawler I have.
Yeah. I still like the mullet though.
I do like the mullet, but
I
like,
like the mullet a lot. I've always loved the swashbuckler aspect of that Errol Flynn
yeah,
sort of debonair
yeah. Whenever
he has to him.
whenever he used the image inducer and he'd have the little mustache,
Mhm.
I was like, man, he should probably just have a little mustache all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
so, like-
Nightcrawler's definitely the kind of dude who would just rock a completely non-ironic mustache.
Yeah, and he might even twirl it.
Oh yes. Nice. What do you
Nice.
think?
I think I wish I was 30 years younger so I could play with them and not feel quite as foolish. But I'm still
We're
gonna,
still gonna
do it. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Hmm. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe and tell all your friends if they want to watch two old people watch old toys and open them. Wait, you know what I meant. Y'all have been wonderful. We've been terrible. We'll see you again soon.